What I'm going to show you in today's video is exactly how you can book 60 to 80 qualified calls every single month into your calendar with this one simple system that I'm going to show you in this video. It's a cold DM system, and you're probably thinking cold DMs, that's awful. Who does cold DMs anymore? Well, that's exactly it. It gives us an advantage, and this gave Daniel an advantage as well, which was our client. He was originally booking 12 calls in every single month, doing the work himself because he didn't have setters doing it for him, which meant he was in the Instagram DMs consistently DMing people, hardly booking any calls, and he was attached to every call. He would beat himself up when he didn't close a call or when he didn't book in a call through the DMs because it fell through last minute because he was having such a low amount, such a low volume of calls. Then suddenly, in 9 days, he booked 21 calls and 16 showed up. And the average duration of calls went from 60 minutes to even 90 minutes, all the way down to 30 minutes, even some 20 minutes, with hardly any objections showing up on the call. He had higher close rates, he charged more for his service, and this was all done with one simple DM system that I'm going to show you in today's video. And this system can be executed whether you are in B2C, whether you're in B2B, and no matter what your situation is in business right now, you can pick this up instantly to book you 60 to 80 calls without you touching a single thing. Yet again, just like how Daniel did, he has already in 9 days made almost 10k full profit in pounds, which is almost 12k USD. And as you can see, half payments were sent through in the chat here. He was saying clockwork. I said holy shit, because it's good money for a lot of people, and you get the point. Now, what I want to do first is do a numbers breakdown. So we send 100 DMs a day, and that is 500 DMs a week because we make our set send DMs Monday to Friday. But that means we send 2k DMs a month, and at a 20% positive reply rate, that's 400 positive replies. 5% booking rate, that's 100 calls booked in. 80% show up rate, that's 80 showed up, and at a 33% or higher close rate, which is what our DM system has, and it's what our sale call structure has. That is 26 closes every single month, and the average ticket price people sell out online for their high ticket service is 4k USD. So if we times 26 closes by 4k USD, that's 104k a month with one simple cold DM system I'm going to show you in this video. And that's almost full profit as well. But obviously, not everyone's going to pay in full. You know, so let's say worst case, every single person pays half of that ticket. That is still 52k profit a month without you touching a single thing because the setter executes on it for you with how we've built everything here. Now, if you are still watching this video, this means that this is for you. Now, I know exactly who you are. You want to scale to 40k profit months. You want to not do everything yourself and actually be a business owner. And that is what I'm here to help you with in this video, because we don't want to be the ones in the DMs booking the calls. We don't want to even be the ones on the calls spending hours trying to convince someone to pay for our service. We want someone to come onto our call fully qualified, fully with the intent to buy our high ticket service at the full price every single time. And that is what we're going to be doing today. So firstly, when we do this DM system, we need to make sure that we have the highest potential to send as many DMs as possible. The reason is because of this. I don't care if you're doing content right now, whether you're building your brand, you already have a brand, or you have no brand at all and you're just relying off referrals right now. Whatever your setup may be, like I said before, you can use this system to benefit what you're doing now. Logically think about this for a second, okay? If we had a guy who was taking 60 calls a month and a guy who was taking in 10 calls a month, who is going to collect more information on how to create the right offers and systems to help the right ICP and convince the right ICP to take more actions? Well, I think we know which one it is, and it's the one that books 60 calls because he has more experience, and more specifically because he sends so many DMs every single month, he has one thing that you're missing out on, which is the main reason you're not making more money, and that one thing is data. The reason we need data is because, logically think about this again, someone who is making more money than you, the only reason they're making more money than you is because they know a few more things you don't. And the only reason they know those things is because of data. Because when you do a lot of volume and you track that volume that you're doing, you know what's going right, so you can double down on that. You know what's going wrong, so you can get rid of that. And you can build overall systems around that, systems that convert and make your ICP take more action and move further through conversion. So we need data. And this is why right now, you might have confusion on what to post on your brand, or when you post something with your brand, you don't know if it's going to perform well, or if you or your setter sends a DM in the DMs. You don't know if it's going to book in the call with a prospect. You're always on the edge of your seat. You always have these questions because there is not enough information backing up your actions to where that uncertainty changes into certainty. But like I said, you can't do that. You can't track that and understand that without a high amount of volume, which is why even if you are building a brand right now and you don't want to focus on cold DMs, you must install this cold DM system, as it will get you ahead of 99% of people. Like, this is the funny part. So many people think cold DMs is bad, which means we can use this to our advantage, because less people are doing cold DMs, which means it's less saturated, and we have more of an advantage then to go and do cold DMs because there's less competition. So let's get into how we do this system. Firstly, the way we set up this system is we need to hire a VA, a virtual assistant, that sources the leads for us on Instagram. Now, this system is specifically for Instagram, so if you are not doing Instagram, or you don't want to at least give Instagram a try based off what you've heard so far in this video, then leave this video. This is not for you. If you are over 40k a month as well, this is not for you. But if you are trying to get to 40k, maybe even 50k profit months, this DM system, what I'm about to show you, it's going to make you so profitable. It's going to teach you so much stuff. It's really going to help you out. So yeah, VA lead sourcing. Now, where to source these leads? You need to tell your VA when you hire that VA where to source the leads from. And we're going to get into that in a second. Firstly, I just want to say, VAs normally cost like $3 to $4 an hour. And if you are doing, with our system, for example, 100 DMs a day, it'll probably take 3 to maximum 4 hours for the person to do it. So you're looking at like $12 to $16 a day, maybe not even that. And the reason we hire VAs and we don't just make the setters do it is because, think about this logically. If we know what to delegate properly, which in this case we delegate the work to the setters, and we know what to automate or even delegate to source the leads, which is the VAs, we're going to attract better setters. Why? Because a setter that is high quality that we want to attract inside of our business, they're not looking to source leads. That's not their job. Their job is to book calls based on the leads that come their way. Sorry about that. So what we need to do is understand how we can either automate or delegate that process, so we make the setter's job easier, and so we attract higher value setters that can book in more calls for us. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. So we can attract better setters by leveraging VAs. And it also allows us to source thousands of leads every single month without a problem, meaning we can get the volume and the reach we need to get this kind of volume, like I said, so we can book in as many calls as possible every single month, which in this case with my offer is 60 to 80 calls minimum every single 30 days with this exact system. So where you tell your setters to source leads, and this is very profitable, and it's very interesting as well how we do this. So we gather prospects from competitors' following list, and we don't just do that because it's a place to get leads from. We specifically do this on purpose. Why? Because, think about this, these people are already educated on the topic of your solution, what you provide as a service. Because when you find the right competitors that already have a decent following list, and they are posting content around the same or similar things that you would post content around, or that your service helps people with, they are already educated on the solutions and the pain points they have and the things they need to do and the action they need to take in order to progress further. So you slide in with a certain setter and DM system to book in calls with people that are already educated. That means then you can book in more calls because these people understand what you're on about in the DMs, and when they show up to the calls, they're already very knowledgeable on your service, systems and solutions to move forward with the process and to pay you a lot of money. This specifically works really well with placement companies and setter management companies, especially placement companies, because any 9 to 5 people who have not taken action to become setters yet and paid a few $1,000s to become setters, these placement companies, you have an advantage doing this, because like doing this exact way of sourcing leads, or your VA sourcing leads, because these people on their profile, they're not going to say they're setters in their bio, but they're still going to have a personal account. And because they follow your competitor, well, you can instantly understand, oh shit, this guy knows what setting is, but he's not actually a setter yet because it doesn't say it in his bio, which means I can slide in into the DMs, and I can make him take that final bit of action and make him pay me to become a setter. And that way you profit and book in calls so fucking quickly doing this method, because you bridge the knowing to the paying with the prospects. Okay, so that's how your VA sources leads. Then once we've hired the right VA, and the way you hire a VA as well, I'm not going to cover it too much in this video, but basically you can go onto websites where you can hire Filipino VAs. I would recommend hiring Filipino VAs because they speak very fluent English. They are very cheap, as we said before, to hire. Then burner accounts. The reason we use burner accounts is because Instagram only allows you to send 40 to 50 DMs maximum every day, cold DMs specifically. And it's only getting stricter from there as well. Meaning on Instagram, if you want to do as much volume as physically possible and you want your setters to book in a lot of calls, you need multiple accounts, also known as burner accounts, that your setters can use to send more DMs with. And obviously it's more flexible because you can customize these profiles, because all a burner account is basically you buying an account that has, let's say, 1,000 followers that is completely organic. Like, they're not bought followers. They came from reels the past user posted on that Instagram account. Those followers, they just came from networking and them having friends. Whatever it may be, the past owner you bought the account from, you can then rebrand it with your face, your highlights, your stories and posts to then use it as an account to outreach with, or for your setters to outreach with. The way you find and pay for burner accounts, there's specific Discord servers you can go into of people that have a few thousand following accounts. They've got no problems with that account and you can log into it if you pay them money. Burner accounts are very cheap as well. If you find the right people and the right Discord servers, you can basically buy burner accounts for like maximum, like it wouldn't even be $50, $30 to maximum $40, right? And you could buy a burner account and that should last you for like months and it should make you a lot of profit in return. So it's definitely worth it. And we only hire 2 setters and each of our setters controls 2 burner accounts. We send 25 DMs per account, which is 50 DMs total per setter. And with 2 setters, that is 100 DMs a day, achieving our 100 DMs a day volume that we need to hit. The reason we hire 2 setters max and no more is because of one thing, and that is quality control. Logically think about this for a second. Quality control is so important. What do we mean by quality control? Well, if, you've never heard someone hire 10 setters in their business. You've never heard that before. Have you ever heard someone say, I've got 10 setters on my team? Unless they're clearing like $1 million or a few million a month at the bare minimum, no one has 10 setters on their team. And the reason for that is because of quality control. If you're training the setters, you're trying to make them execute on the right systems every time to book in as many calls as possible. Having more setters will spread out the quality and the control of the quality that your setters execute on, if that makes sense. So by hiring 2 setters, we can still do 100 DMs a day because of the burner accounts. But at the same time, we keep quality when setters execute on our DM system because we only have to train 2 setters, which is really good for scaling and booking more calls and making more money, okay? Final thing in terms of the account, obviously profile optimization. When you've got the burner accounts, you need to change them to your face, your bio, your highlights, and make sure in specifically the highlights, you build more trust and credibility on that profile by adding more results, more of you traveling, more of you meeting people or going to events, things like that, to build more trust, credibility and authority with your profile when you outreach with these burner accounts that you change. It also obviously drives higher reply rates if you optimize your profiles properly when you buy these burner accounts, because the people you outreach to, they can see your profile. That's probably the first thing they'll check when you outreach. And if it is a good enough, optimized enough account, they're more likely to reply, which means higher reply rates and of course higher booking rates because more people are replying. So that's everything in terms of setting it up, doing the volume and actually booking calls. Obviously you need a certain DM system, like a DM flow, to train your setters on. As it says here, so then your setters can execute on that DM system with the leads the VA has given them, so they can book in calls. The final thing you need to do, which gives you the most possible leverage, is using content assets. Content assets are basically like YouTube videos, a bit like how I'm creating this here, and you can just reuse content assets over and over again. If I, for this video, for example, teach you guys, let's say you're struggling on how to do DMs, and I'm now teaching you in this video how to do DMs. Think about how much trust that builds. Think about how much more likely you are to have a conversation with me and, be more inclined to listen out on more videos I post in the future. It's so likely. And if we take this a step further as well, when you create YouTube videos that are 10, 20, 30 minutes long, solving solutions your ICP has, you can reuse these YouTube videos, also known as content assets, and you can use them in the DMs when you're outreaching. And the reason this gives you so much leverage is because you can reuse these over and over again. Even your setters, again and again, can use these to book in more and more calls without you being in the DMs, because they're already pre-recorded videos that will massively help your prospects decide if they trust you enough to make a decision to book in a call with you. So by leveraging content assets, you only have to create it one time, but your setters in the DMs can reuse it over and over again to book you more and more calls. And on top of that as well, you get higher DM conversions, obviously, like we just said, but also higher show-up rates, because once someone books in a call, that's not your job done. You need to make sure they're as knowledgeable as possible before they hop onto the call with you on exactly the solution you provide and the systems you give them moving forward to make them more money. Okay? So you don't want to have 1 hour calls. And this is what I was saying before. This is how we achieved this for Daniel. He used to just book calls and then that was it. But when we gave them content assets after they booked in calls, the duration of the call massively shortened because the person who was interested knew everything about the service, the system they were going to get, and the ways they were going to make more money. So by the time they got onto the call, they already knew what was going on. They already knew what the service was about and how Daniel specifically delivers for these people, which means the duration goes down massively. There's less objections, there's less questions you need to answer, or less beliefs you need to shift, etc., etc., right? A content asset, especially like, for example, this one I'm creating now, you know so much more. If you're still watching this video, you know so much because I've created everything perfectly in this video for you to understand and for you to execute on after this video if you really wanted to. Now, of course, this brings me to my final topic, and I've spoke about all of this. You cannot execute on this DM system, unfortunately. You technically can, because I've told you pretty much every step, but you will not fully be able to properly execute on this in a way to where you can book 60 to 80 calls minimum, like me and our clients do with this DM system and with this whole setup. The reason is because there's a few little things I've not told you, and seeing this at face value seems easy, it seems interesting, but actually setting it up is a whole different story, and actually getting really good results from this is a whole different story, because the person who created the system, which was me, it's probably best to get the advice from me and for me to build it for you than you to do it yourself. Think of it this way. I'm sure before you've copied a piece of content from someone else, yet it's not done as well as that person who originally created it. And you might ask yourself, why is that? Well, it's because you're seeing it at face value. You're seeing the end result. You're not seeing everything behind it that made that video work, that made that person create that video in a certain way to make it look well and perform well. And it's the same with this. Looking at it face value, the system, it seems easy. It seems like you can go off this video and create it. And although technically it might help you a bit more with the situation you're in, nowhere near as much as how much our clients make or book in, because you're seeing it at face value, you're not seeing how it's actually created. So if you want us to create it for you, around your specific offer and the situation you're in your business right now, and you want us to create it for you, we can book you 60 to 80 calls, right? You don't have to touch a single thing because the setters do it for you that we install into your business to execute on this DM system for. It's also a done for you service, meaning you don't have to touch anything. And we book you minimum this many calls in 30 days or less. And these are fully qualified calls that take no more than 30 minutes to do, that you close every single time. If you want us to do something like this specifically for your offer in the situation you're in right now for your business, click the link below. Book in a call with me. It's only 20-30 minutes, and I will, for free, one-to-one, sharing my screen, I will show you specifically how to set this up for your business. And if you have any other bottlenecks in your business right now that you know are stopping you from growing further to reaching 40, 50k profit months, I can also identify exactly what the bottlenecks are right now in your business and how to specifically solve them with the right solutions in order to book more calls and make more money. And like I said, no matter what situation you're in, you need volume, and more specifically data. So everything compounds. Everything is a way to book more calls, to close more deals, to make more money so you can reinvest that money back into your business. You know where to find me in the link below. If you've got any questions, go into the DMs and ask them, and hopefully I'll see you on the other side if you're interested in this. If not, completely fine. I don't mind. Hopefully I'll see you on another video. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped, and I will see you wherever I next see you. Thanks for watching.